Hello and welcome to an episode of The Fifth Floor, a podcast about creativity, art, and photography. My name is Athina and I am your host. Today, I wanted to touch a bit on the hot topic of AI and creativity. I understand that AI has been around for decades now, but it feels that only recently it has actually reached our daily lives and became a part of our daily routines. But what does that really mean for creativity and the creative process? What does that mean for art and artists and especially photographers? Is it all doomsday? In my opinion, no, but we need to proceed with caution. I don't know where to start with this, to be honest. There are so many aspects and so many arguments and so much opinion out there, and so many layers that we could touch upon, and so many predictions on how this will affect us as creators. But I don't think anyone really knows or can predict the future. And I'm definitely not an expert on the subject, but as a person who creates, and more precisely digitally creates, I would definitely want to start a conversation, to share some thoughts and concerns, to share what, let's say, bothers me. Obviously, we're only touching upon the surface here, but we need to start somewhere, right? Alright, let's begin. I have tried to focus on the main questions that are bothering me and what I have been thinking about, narrowing them down to 3 key concerns. So, concern number 1. Will we lose our creative voice? Will we lose our creativity and our ability to play and experiment in the process? What I'm trying to understand is this. With just a few prompt words, AI can generate images for you to choose from. And with a bit more refinement, you can get a complete piece of artwork. While it can be fun to experiment with, I am starting to wonder if we're becoming too reliant on ready-made results. Are we losing the ability to create and combine ideas ourselves, where we start with a concept, connect the dots, and solve problems along the way? For me, creating art is all about the process. I work with a kind of blank canvas, allowing myself to play, try, fail, and see where the work takes me. The idea of having something ready-made without going through that journey feels unsettling. It takes away the fun, the challenge, and the essence of the creative experience. It is as if I'm being given the solution without the chance to think, challenge myself, and find my own path. And then, will we lose our creative voice and what makes our art unique to each of us? Will we end up with a universal AI voice, all sounding the same in an echo chamber created by the few? And that brings me to concern number 2. Is AI stealing artist styles and unique art voices that it took them like a lifetime to create? It seems that AI generates artwork by pulling from a pool of visual content available online. But are the artists whose work is being used properly compensated? Also, AI appears capable of recreating styles and unique voices that artists have spent years perfecting. Remember Studio Ghibli in March 2025. Are these artists being fairly remunerated for this? My main question then is, how do we protect the work of artists? And that leads us to the last concern for today. This one is kind of a big one for me and a bit more general one. So, concern number 3. Can AI distort the truth? Can it distort history? How much can we trust the images we see? I will start a bit differently with this one. So, I was watching a TV series recently, and as I scrolled through social media, I came across images and scenes related to the show that I had never seen before. After a closer look, I realized they were AI-generated scenes, visuals depicting how viewers imagined the story could have evolved. That got me thinking, could this happen to real photos? For example, documentary photos? These photos are meant to tell the truth and preserve history for future generations, right? Okay, let's make a side note here. We could dive into the concept of truth in photography in another episode, but for now, let's assume documentary photos are meant to reflect the truth. And then it hit me. How do we protect the truth? What will the narrative be for future generations? Can we alter history, change the narrative, or even create a new version of the truth? Can we manipulate reality? So many questions. Okay, and that concludes my main 3 concerns. And I really hope that I didn't scare you off. Because just to connect it with what I have said in the beginning of this episode, I don't think it's doomsday. We just need to be a bit more cautious. Obviously, AI is here to stay, just like digital photography and Photoshop and so on. So we need to find a way to coexist without losing us. As artists and creators, I believe we should use AI cautiously and as a tool to enhance our creativity and not to replace it. AI can definitely help us refine our work and save us time on certain tasks. It can be a starting point, but I don't think it can replace artists or creators. Use it then, so that you're able to have more time on the important part, the creating part, the play part, the problem-solving part. And finally, it is important that we apply our critical thinking when we consume images or information. And it is also important that rules and regulations should be put in place to safeguard the artist, their work, and the narrative that is being created. And that's part of my thoughts on AI and creativity. I'm really keen to hear your thoughts on this subject, especially since I believe we're only beginning to glimpse what the future holds. Okay, but before you go, never forget in your life that we have a new podcast every Wednesday. To visit fifthfloor.me and subscribe to our newsletter to get updates. Follow us on Spotify and share if you liked and leave a review. If you're listening via YouTube, please subscribe and share any topics you wish us to discuss or to expand on more. Okay, bye for now and thank you for being here. See you in the next one.